What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital. I'm also the Director of Research at Leduc Trading, coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is December 15th, 2020. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to be talking about the price action in the indices, the vol crush. We're going to go under the hood and check out some of those sectors and style factors. Some of the trades I took, including my Baidu trade. And then we'll wrap up some options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades unless it is my Baidu trade. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's get going with our market recap. Today was just such a wild day, and today was one of those days where I just feel blessed to be a part of this game and be able to play it every single day. I love doing this, and days like today are where you get to see some of the rewards. So we have the S&P 500 up 1.35%. We have the NASDAQ QQQ up 1.07%. The small caps IWM up 2.5% today. Huge day for small caps. And we have the Dow Jones, not quite as good as the small caps, up 1.18%. And as you can see here, we're coming off of our super bullish sequence post-election. We rallied for literally a month or two, and we had a bit of a dip here where we pulled back to the monthly value area high. You know, yesterday on my video, I was saying how we're dipping into that monthly value area. You do have to be prepared in case, you know, we start ripping right through it. Today, we got the exact opposite reaction where we just ended up having a beautiful green day. We tagged that 20-day simple moving average again, and we just ended up having a beautiful trend day up. So as of right now, this is looking like, you know, a bullish sequence, a pullback, and now we are rallying off of that pullback. Granted, this is options expiration week, so everything that happens this week I sort of take with a grain of salt, but things are looking bullish, and at least for today, you know, it was a great day in the markets. Let's take a look at technology. The NASDAQ QQQ, oh my gosh, look at this. So NASDAQ had a pullback to the 20-day simple moving average as well, never dipped into the value area, and you can see here we are bouncing back beautifully off of that pullback. We're above the 5-day exponential moving average, and we closed on the highs. So this is looking very constructive. And then we have IWM, our big winner. This one does look like it's having a pretty crazy move. This one really has been on a roller coaster ride up with very little in the way of pullbacks, really since the vaccine news came about and the election news. And this one above the 5-day EMA, also closed near the highs, and this one is just on a tear. Dow Jones, the Nothing Burger Index, about 30 companies in it, and they must just not have the right companies in here. So let's take a look. Yeah, this one's still doing its thing, really just trending sideways, very boring. So now let's take a look under the hood, and we'll check out those sectors and style factors and see what happened. And you'll be able to see by this, you know, yesterday we were talking about a character shift in the markets, the high betas going down and all this stuff. And today we just had a complete reversal of that. So we take a look, solar stocks absolutely crushed today, up 8.07%. This is, you know, just such a big move. This is most likely a multi-standard deviation move here, literally insane. Let's take a look at those solar stocks. You know, solar and cannabis are two of the themes I harp on in almost every video because I think they are two trends that are really still intact. You know, as a country, we are trying to move to clean energy, And this Biden administration that is coming in, is very pro clean energy. So, this is like, very textbook, where this one goes on a bullish run, consolidates sideways to down, bullish run, consolidates sideways to down. And here we are, is this the start of another bullish run? Tough to say, but this is a great candle right here, coming on high volume, and it is just a big extended range candle. So congrats to everybody that was a part of that. That is just a stellar move. Let's take a look. What else do we have? Arc Genomics taking a break. Arc Innovation also taking a bit of a break. But you can see here, cars, global autos up 2.08%. Retail, economically sensitive, up 2.64%. Energy bouncing back, had a couple of really tough days, up 1.97%. And even gold miners, which have been having the toughest time and have been lagging in terms of momentum, up 3.15%. Let's actually take a look at those gold miners. Finally seeing some love for the miners. Yeah, it's not even closing on the highs. Poor gold miners. Yeah, this still looks, very boring. But it's within the monthly value area, so who knows? Maybe the downtrend, might be over. But yeah, this one doesn't look too exciting. But good for the gold miners. Had a nice day. Well, let's take a look at those style factors. Yeah, and European financials, another like pure value play, doing really well. So this is, very bullish, and this is just a huge snapback from the pullback we saw, the other couple days. It's very violent. So like high beta up 2.13%, cyclicals up 2.79%. Those were the underperformers from the last couple days. And let's see what underperformed on a relative basis. Momentum up 0.95%, and defensives. So that's when it's risk on, when the defensives are underperforming. Min-vol up 1.04%. Solid performance, but didn't lead. So yeah, this was a very risk on day. In terms of some of the trades today and like my watch list, Baidu was just fantastic. So this one, like, I rarely get, excited over trades or anything, just because, you can't really get excited. Like, if you start getting excited over good trades, and that means you're going to get, really bummed out over trades that you lose. And, I lose trades all the time. But this Baidu, it was just something very special. And, like, the reason why it's so exciting and fun to me is because, as a technical trader, I look for these setups in the market. And, sometimes if there's a news catalyst, it can really help you out, things like that. But as a trader, you're always hunting for the next setup. And, I might find an A+ setup. And, A+ for me works, 55% of the time. Sometimes I scratch the trade. Sometimes I lose the trade. Every trade is a probabilistic event. And what happened in Baidu is just so rare that it's just exciting to get into one of these setups and then have it, turn into a Baidu. Where this is like, not normal at all. This is pretty much a parabolic move. I got into Baidu, discussed on my recap a couple days ago on this candle right here. And on this one, it was like, oh man, Baidu's up a lot. Is it still good to get in? And I jumped in, towards the top that day. And then you can see over the next couple days, just went super bullish. When we tagged this 163 pivot, I actually closed my January calls for about a plus 58% gain. And I rolled out to February calls because I was like, we might consolidate here on this pivot level. But sure enough, yesterday, I guess this was our consolidation, this little red candle. Yesterday, Baidu didn't do all that much. But today, Baidu just went absolutely insane. And the February calls that I rolled into literally doubled plus. So, yeah, just really special. I ended up taking off these calls into the close. And there was some weirdness with the, the system at Leduc Trading. An alert went out, basically taking me out of my position, like down here. But in terms of my own position, this one, we got towards the end of the day, and this one just kept ripping. And what I saw was like, you know, my position had doubled plus, and this is what I thought was, you know, a little strange. So this actually looks better than when I looked earlier, but I started seeing like all these single prints up here. And this looks more constructive now, but when I took this one off, I took it off at like 3:55 p.m. All I saw were these single prints, and it didn't look like there was much volume up here. So I was like, you know what, let me just take these calls off. I'm going to put this money in my pocket. Baidu is a name that I want to continue participating in, you know, either through calls or common stock. But this was just one where I was like, I'm just happy with this trade, and I'll put it in my pocket. If there's any sort of dip tomorrow, I will likely dive right back in. But the reason why this one, you know, looks so bullish to me is when you look on, you know, the larger time frames. I've been showing you guys this like almost every single day, so I'm like a broken record here, but you know, this one on the weekly time frame is really just breaking out. This is the yearly value area, so who knows what happens if Baidu, you know, could it get back to the prior all-time high? Maybe. And you know, that's around like the 250s, 260s. Right now we're at 185. So you really just don't know. So this one, you know, just remains bullish, but that was, you know, just an awesome trade. Now let's take a look. And that's one of those where, you know, this week it's options expiration. You know, part of me just wants to be like, all right, I'm done for the week, but you know, I can never really do that. I'm always active in the markets looking for stuff. So I can never really just take a break, but yeah, that was a good one. Amazon, I still have my call spread out there. This one expires December 24th. And you can see Amazon has just been coiling for months and months. This is the weekly chart. You can see how coiled this thing is, just been doing nothing. So let's see. On our daily, I believe it's the 3200, 3210 call spread. And that's really just me playing to the top of the monthly value area. This one you can see tested the monthly point of control today, and buyers came in to buy the dip, bid it up, and it ended up closing on the day plus 0.26%. Not really too exciting today, but I am seeing strength in the mega cap names. So like for instance, Apple showing a lot of relative strength. You can see closed up 5%. Facebook as well. I saw some call activity coming in. This one closed up 0.5%, but I am just noticing, you know, I could be totally wrong on this, but just from experiencing this market for a while, I'm just noticing these names. It looks like they're starting to wake up. So yeah, that's why I put on that Amazon spread. Sama is a trade that I'm managing. I have the January 10 strike calls. On any given day, this thing is becoming so volatile. These have either tripled or quadrupled. So this is a trade where Sama is going to be merging with Clever Leaves. I've talked about it a bunch of times on this little show here. And it's going to be taking on its new ticker symbol. I believe it's at the end of the week, or you know, the beginning of next trading week. So this is one where it's becoming super volatile. And you can see that there's all these red candles, which means there are people exiting their positions. So they're essentially like, you know, buying the rumor, selling the news, so to speak. So what I'm watching for, and this is what you always have to be watching for in these SPACs, they are so low float and so thinly traded that if a big player decides like, oh, I was just in Sama for a short-term trade, now time to get out with my gains, you can really have these things completely tumble and it can start a cascade. So I'm actually looking to potentially either take some profits or exit this week. You know, sure enough, I'm trying to do the same thing. So I know other people are too. So we'll have to see. This is a position I continue to manage. Let's see. YOLO, a trade that I put on earlier today. I am still holding. This is one of the last like Twitter alerts I put out when I was posting a lot of my live entries and exits. So you can find this on Twitter. But I've been long May calls in YOLO, you know, since YOLO was trading around like 10 or 11 bucks. Pretty sure my May calls are like the 11 strike. But with YOLO, this is another trend that reminds me very similar to solar stocks, where it's just a very bullish trend, and we're getting the consolidation here. We had essentially a parabolic run after the election, and rather than this trend falling apart, we're just moving sideways, which I like as a long-term bull. And you can see we were super extended from the 20-day moving average. Now the 20-day moving average, we're not extended from it at all. So I purchased some 17 strike calls for February today. Got in somewhere around this like 1640 level. So decent entry today. And we will see what these cannabis stocks do. But this is one of my favorite groups. You know, I have a bunch of holdings in here. I have MSOS. You know, I have my YOLO calls. I have GTBIF. I have TCNNF, SAMA. I've got a lot of exposure here, and I actually just added more today. Let's take a look. Norwegian is another one I put on. And I was just seeing, you know, a lot today. So Norwegian is one where, you know, highly dependent on the COVID vaccine. This is one where if you've been watching these videos, I played Norwegian where I bought some March calls literally down here. I got a really nice entry, you know, partially luck and partially just looking out for it. And when I bought my calls in Norwegian, it was like so not in vogue at all. I ended up selling out of my calls maybe somewhere around here, I would say. And sure enough, we overshot. I was like, man, I sold my calls. This thing is just still ripping. Now we finally got the pullback. And I see we pulled back to the 20-day simple moving average. And buyers came in to buy the dip. So this to me looks pretty encouraging. I put on some January 25 strike calls. So we will have to see, you know, what happens with that. But this is more so like cyclicals, high beta, that sort of style factor. And then let's take a look. BTWN, this is a very speculative play. I do not try this at home. But this is another one I threw on. This one, it's a SPAC backed by Peter Thiel. I saw this one was moving on very high volume in the pre-market. And they are in talks to acquire this company. I believe it's called like Tokopedia. And they are an Indonesian e-commerce company. I was doing some research on them. They have over 100 million users. They have a payments arm. They have a lot going on with their business. It looks awesome. And so if they could get that deal to go through, you know, I could definitely see this SPAC doing very well. So I did put on a small position here as well. And that about does it for, you know, trades, watch lists, that sort of thing. Well, let's jump into some options activity. Let's see what we got going on. So we're going to zoom out to orders $1 million and above. I will be posting my affiliate link for Cheddarflow in the description of this video. It gives you a 7-day free trial if you are interested. Let's see what we got. I didn't see this one earlier. We have VXX calls going out to March, the 18 strike for 1.3 million. I believe VXX did take a bit of a break. This one definitely catches my eye. Yeah, so VXX was down on the day, and this product decays over time. So this is, in my opinion, not really a good product that you want to buy, you know, like long-term options in. You know, different strokes for different folks. They bought those calls. QS is one. They bought the December 18th calls. QS is, you know, a former SPAC that has just been a huge SPAC success story. Can you believe this thing was $10 and it went all the way to 87 at the peak, 86, 87. Had a pretty violent pullback, and now you can see, you know, nice green candle today. Microsoft we're seeing calls for. I haven't seen Microsoft, you know, since COVID, when the FANG stocks were just absolutely ripping. So this is very, very interesting. And that's what I mean when I say, like, there's a bit of a character change in these mega cap names. Yeah, Microsoft putting in a little bit of a hammer, down 0.03%, but for whatever reason, they're starting to go after mega cap tech again. Let's see. Apple, we have January. Facebook as well for January. Baidu, I saw this one come in right in the morning, a nice $1 million sweep. That's when I was like, let's go. It's going to be a good day for Baidu. We have some plug calls coming in. I still have my butterfly on for this Friday. Baidu again. AMD. Let's take a look at AMD. AMD is looking pretty solid here as well. Yeah, so AMD going up to that upper Bollinger Band today at 97.12. And you can see this one, it was in a consolidation period for a while, and it has been breaking out. You know, it hasn't been like a fast and furious breakout, but this one is doing its thing. It's gravitating higher. It's in a nice little trend here. And let's see. We have some IWM puts. They bought these like 253. I mean, I could definitely see that just because IWM, like, today just seemed like a ridiculous, like, blow-off move. Even in the solar stocks, too. Like, you can see IWM hit the upper Bollinger Band, and it was just a crazy move. So I could definitely see, like, if you are going to go counter trend, which I don't really recommend, you know, today's sort of the day to do it, I guess, with how bullish it was. Yeah, they bought some puts. Maybe it's just a hedge. Who knows? SRPT. What the heck's this? Sarepta Therapeutics. Somebody bought puts. Also having sort of like a blow-off move up here. Yeah, and then, of course, we have our Tesla call buyers. They are always going for it in Tesla. Let's see what we got. What, up another like 5-10% today? Okay, down 1.03%. Just seems like every day you look at Tesla, it's like, all right, up 5%, 10%, 5%. Just never stops. But that about does it for our options flow and our market recap video for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. And I will speak with you all. Oh, wait, Workhorse. My man Andrew. I almost forgot him. Let's see Workhorse. This is the last item on the agenda. I believe it was Workhorse. Was it Workhorse or Upwork? I don't want to get this wrong for him. For everybody that's not Andrew, just feel free to turn the video off here, but I don't want to forget. Workhorse. Yeah, Workhorse, this looks like a nothing burger to me. This definitely doesn't fit, you know, like one of my setups, but it is consolidating sideways. Yeah, this one looks interesting. I don't know what news hit right here where I had this massive gap down. You know, if I was trading this, I definitely want to be smart on, you know, what happened there. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's much will to auction this thing, you know, lower than 1911. So you sort of have a level to trade against there if you want to get long. You could say, you know what, I'm going to put my stop out at the price low over here. So this one, I mean, I'm not super smart on the company, so I don't really have, you know, a strong opinion. Technically, it just looks like it's sort of moving sideways. But this one, you know, it's a very volatile name. It's had some crazy moves. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys, and I will speak with you all tomorrow.